All right, I'm Andy Chanley from 100.3 The Sound, and we're very lucky to have a special guest here in the studio today, Robby Krieger. Probably doesn't need much of an introduction from me. Great to have you here.
Hey, Andy. What's up?
You know, I do a thing every day. It's a little video blog looking back at what happened on this day in rock history, and posted on our website. It's called the Rock History Notebook, and it just so happens that today I was looking, and it was 45 years ago today that the Doors played the old Aragon Ballroom, then I guess known as the Cheetah Club, with Jefferson Airplane on the bill.
Right.
And it was your first big show, as I understand it. 3,000 people. It would have been the biggest crowd to date. Mm-hmm. What are your memories of that?
Well, I remember that the Cheetah was out on the pier, on Venice Pier, I guess. And it was a cool place, man. It was like they had these shiny mylar kind of slats that surrounded the place, so that you could aim them different places, and then they would bounce the lights off it, you know. So it looked real spacey, really cool. And then I remember that the Jefferson Airplane were playing with us, and they had a lot better amps than we did. So I always asked to borrow Yorma's amp, you know. Right. And they were nice. They were great guys. So they, oh, sure, you know. And so what happens? I blow his amp up.
You blew Yorma Kakano's
Yeah.
Nice.
And I guess we had gone on first, so, you know, it was kind of embarrassing.
What did he do?
I forget whether I'm sure he scrounged up another one somewhere. But, you know, in those days they didn't have, like, studio instrument rentals or something like that. So probably one of the fans had to go home and grab one and let him borrow it.
That's funny. That's awesome. What else do you remember of those times in Venice? I mean, was it starting to be a time where you couldn't walk the street without being mobbed or having a normal day? Or
oh no, not at all. It was Venice was just very laid back at the time. It was, we lived in Venice, and Venice boardwalk was like, it was still beautiful like it is today, but the only people there were old ladies that lived in the retirement home down there, and weightlifters. They had Muscle Beach was right there. So it was kind of a weird mix of weightlifters and old ladies.
That's maybe a perfect mix. I don't know.
Right.
So Doors officially break up in 1973, right? Mm. So tell me everything that's happened to you since then. No, I seriously, I was curious. I heard a quote from Pete Townsend not too long ago. He said that if he had it all to do over again, that he's not sure he would have started The Who.
Really?
Yeah, it just from his hearing loss and the other different things that he had to bargain on.
What did he say he would have done about become an accountant?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how Pete Townsend would have best used his talents. But I'm just curious, looking back on your rock career, if you had it all to do over again, would you have started The Who? No. Would you change anything about being in the Doors?
I often wish that there had been Betty Ford rehab or whatever the heck it was, in those days for Jim, because that was the worst thing that ever happened, to lose him, But we were at a loss of what to do, and it really wasn't cool to confront somebody in those days, even though we did do it, and it worked for about 2 weeks. Jim stopped drinking for about 2 weeks. But, that's the only thing I would change. I mean, everything else was just, it surpassed any dream that I ever would have had,
Yeah.
And just, it was a great time to be in music, and still is.
Well, I want to talk about what you're doing today and what you have done since then. Just have one more question. I was always curious. I get amused when I hear different people talking about things they overhear, not knowing that other people are listening. Can you think of anything amusing that you've heard someone say, not knowing that there was a member of the Doors in the room at the time? Do you? I think it would be interesting for you to get a viewpoint of what other people say in candor about your work.
Oh, golly. I can't think of anything offhand, but a funny thing did happen as I was on the airplane coming back I was just on this Jimi Hendrix Experience Hendrix tour.
Right, yeah.
And I was coming back from, where was it? Alabama, I guess, on my way to Texas. And I was sitting next to a couple of young guys, and one of them was in college. They were both in college at a music school. And the one kid was talking about how he was so happy because he was starting a reggae band and all this stuff. And then I looked at this book he was reading, and it was The Doors of Perception.
Aldous Huxley?
Aldous Huxley. And so I said, oh, how do you like that book? He said, oh, it's awesome. This has changed my life and blah, blah, blah. I go, oh, well, I'm in the Doors.
Changed my life, too.
Yeah. He freaked out. It was so fun. It was perfect.
That's great. Well, so I got the CD. This is your third? No, sixth. Sixth solo album.
I'm not sure.
Now, is the lead single off here, Southern Cross, no relation to the Crosby, Stills and Nash Southern Cross,
No.
An instrumental track. A couple of questions. Is it influenced by seeing the Southern Cross or some specific experience?
No, but the reason for that is I came up with the title Singularity somehow, and what singularity is like the Big Bang, right?
Right.
So I figured I'd name the songs after celestial events. So, and Southern Cross is one of the constellations that you can see only from the southern hemisphere.
Right.
And when we were down there in last time in South America, we saw it, and it was very cool.
I was lucky enough to go to Australia for my honeymoon, and one night we're walking in total darkness, and we looked up. My wife said, "Look up," and you don't see the stars. You see the galaxy. You see just milk. I mean, you understand how it got its name. It's really astonishing. So a lot of the is a lot of this experiential things that you're translating into music. This just happened to be
No, it's just names of songs.
but the music itself, they're just voyages. They're jams.
It's it's where I'm at musically at the moment. So they really don't have anything to do with celestial occurrences, but I wish they did.
Well, maybe. Who never say never. So you are, for people that want to come to where you are musically, they're going to get the chance on April 26th, you and Ray Manzarek are playing a show in Anaheim at the House of Blues down there.
That's right.
If you don't have jury duty.
My jury duty starts on 17th of April. I hope it'll be over by the 26th.
All right. He's going to call at 5 o'clock the night before and see if he's cleared to come down and play. That's pretty funny. Hopefully you won't be impaneled and you come to play. So what can we expect from that show other than hearing samples of this?
Well, it's going to be mainly the Doors, music of the Doors. We have Dave Brock, who's singing with us from Wild Child, and he's just great. And we have Phil Chen playing bass, who has been playing with me off and on for the last 30 years or so, maybe 40 years. He played on Jeff Beck's album Blow by Blow, and he played with Rod Stewart and stuff. And Ty Dennis is our drummer, great drummer. Played with Martha from the Motels. And it's people want to hear some Doors songs, come on down.
That's fun. And it has to be fun to be able to call up just about anybody you want to play with now and put together, surround yourself with a good group of musicians and just have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And, Ray and I have been doing this for probably the past 10 years. And, we started out with Ian Astbury and
the Cult.
And then we had the guy from Fuel, Brett Scallion, and guy named Mili Matijevic, who was a heavy metal guy. So we've had different singers, and Dave Brock I think he probably comes closest to nailing the real Doors, Jim Morrison sound.
All right. Well, April 26th in Anaheim, if you want to see Ray and Robby play. And also, very soon, coming to The Sound, doing your own edition of our guest DJ
It's
show, My Turn.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear what you'd pick for that and the influences that you've chosen
fun.
for that, maybe a few stories.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to end with one last question for you. Outside of music, or maybe as an adjunct to music, what other things are you interested in? What other things excite you? What things are you doing now that you wake up in the morning and say, I can't wait to work on that?
Other than music, it's golf.
Really?
Yeah, total golf addict.
What's your handicap?
I just it's 6.5 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I just played in the Kraft Nabisco tournament with the lady pros. And Alice Cooper and a couple other guys were down there.
Alice is a great golfer, right?
Yeah, he's very good. Very good.
That's funny. Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Golf is my other passion.
Well, Robby, thank you so much for taking some time out to spend time with us here at The Sound. Once again, catch him on My Turn and at the House of Blues.
I'm a great pot grower.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah.
Was not aware. Only in California. Thanks again for coming in and visiting us at The Sound. Robby Krieger.
All right.